Welcome back to another episode of Freak Show Racing. We're gonna be working on the Integra, the daily car today. Dogs just jumped in the car with me. But anyway, we've been having some issues with the shifter since the last video, and I thought that when I bought the car, I thought that the bushings on the linkage were just wore out, but turns out that's not exactly the case, and I'll show you once I get the car jacked up in the air. I'll show you. But anyway, let me show you what we're dealing with. So recently, the shifter always felt weird, like it was really sloppy, and I thought it was just the bushings. But recently, it's had a lot more play, and it's even been getting stuck, hard to move, right? So see, look, clutch is in. It's really hard to move, and you have a large amount of up and down play in it, and that's not normal. So anyway, I thought it was just the bushings, and I ordered a set of bushings, and I lifted up the car, got crawled up under it, and I found some stuff, right? So one of the previous owners installed a Skunk 2 short shifter here, and I changed the knob out, but anyway, they didn't install it correctly, and I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get the car in the air and can actually get up under there. Alright, so I'm underneath the car. I just wanted to show you what the actual problem is. I don't know if I can get an angle. Alright, see that? They didn't put, when they installed the Skunk 2 shifter, they did not put the retention spring back underneath it on the ball. And over time, this rubber bushing right there tore in half and fell out, and the shifter itself is sitting on top of my exhaust. That is why there's so much play in it, and also why it's getting stuck, because it's getting stuck on the hanger of that exhaust right there and not allowing you to move it. Basically, I thought that it was missing the plate right there, but they actually did put that back on, so that's good. But yeah, if you're gonna put aftermarket parts in your car, even if you don't think that something is important, it actually is important. You know, put the OEM stuff back on, unless you have an aftermarket part that eliminates it. So anyway, as you can see, it was that Skunk 2 short shifter was installed incorrectly, and parts were left off of the shift linkage, and now anyway, I don't know what they were doing, but let's just say if I understand, you know, people make mistakes. If it's your first time modifying a car, working on a car, I get it. But if you uninstall something and change something, reinstall it. When you reinstall the part, put all the parts back in that you took off, you know? Like, unless it's something that does not require that, you know? Unless it's something that does away with the original equipment, put the original equipment back in, right? Anyway, to fix that issue, I did order all of the OEM parts for the shift linkage, but as much as I like Skunk 2 products, I'm not a big fan of the way that their short shifter feels, and I had an opportunity to do some upgrading. So this is K-Tune's B&D series shifter version 3, which does do away with this part. It does away with this, which is the plastic retention bushing that goes on the ball of the shifter that is missing off of mine. And it also gets rid of this. So it makes it, I don't know, every review I've read on this shifter says it's amazing. So we're gonna see. And if we don't like it, we'll put the Skunk 2 back in with the original parts. To go with it, I also got some K-tuned shift linkage bushings, which these are an OEM style replacement bushing. They're not an upgrade. I'd love to put solid bushings in it. It's not the right time for that. And it's a daily driver. These rubber bushings will last another 20 years. And I would have used the energy suspension poly bushes for it, but I live in Alabama, and it's hot, and it rains a good bit, and I live on a dirt road, and poly bushes, from my experience, don't do well with that. They wear out. They're really good as soon as you first install them, and then they wear out very quickly because of the dirt and humidity and the moisture from living on a dirt road. I mean, if I didn't ever have to see red dirt or red gravel, that would be a good option, and it'd be what I would do, if it was a track car. But it's a daily driver, so just going back with the OEM bushes or OEM style replacement from K-Tune. So anyway, when you order this K-Tune shifter, you get the shifter. This is the bottom part of the shifter. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic yet, but you see this plate here? It replaces the OEM plate. Now, let's get somewhere where we can see better. Alright, so we have the base of the shifter, which connects to your linkage and to the chassis. We have the actual arm, which comes up through your floor. I also have some Speed Factory detent springs, which we're going to put in. They're stiffer spring and help with shifter feel. And you get all the hardware. This goes through the base of the shifter, where it connects to the linkage, I'm assuming. And these are to hold that plate on. And they also send you a nice little Allen key set, so that's pretty cool. But we're going to go back underneath the car and start disassembling stuff, and I'll show you what you have to do to actually fit this to your shift linkage. Alright, we're back underneath the car. It's a little tight because I can't lift it up very high at the moment. But the first thing I'm going to do is probably disconnect this exhaust and just kind of swing it out of the way so that I have more room to work. And then we're going to lower the shift linkage so that we can work on it. We're not going to have to undo the bitch pin up here. That's what a lot of people like to call it. we're not gonna have to undo it. We're just gonna leave the actual shift rod hanging underneath the car. But we are going to undo the stabilizer rod that the shifter actually rides on. We're going to take it off, and we're going to drop the whole assembly down, and then take the actual shift rod. We're going to take the stabilizer rod back out of the car to the shop, so that I can show you a better view of how to install the new K-Tune shifter into it, and then we'll put it back together. It's pretty simple. It's either you have three 12mm bolts is what it usually is. I think mine are 13s for some reason, but you have 3 bolts to take out of the bushings, and then you can drop the whole assembly down, and that's it. And then you disconnect the shift rod from the base of the shifter, and the whole stabilizer rod will come free. Alright, I'm not going to film this part because I'm working in tight space and just don't have the ability to film it. But like I said, I don't have a lift in the shop, and there's not room to actually put it in the shop. I'm working on jack stands, so I lifted the car as high as I safely could. So let's get to work on this. Alright, so I got the actual shift rod out. Now I'm gonna give you can give you a better idea of what I was actually talking about. The plastic spring that's supposed to be in there to retain the ball is not actually in there, so you could literally almost pull the whole shifter out of the linkage because that ball's not there and this rubber boot broke. So we're going to take these nuts out. I already removed the rear bushing. The front bushings look like they've been changed. These look like these are a 2-piece bushing, so they look like they actually look like the K-Tune bushings, but since we have new ones, we're gonna go ahead and change them anyway. Alright, so we got the old shifter out, and now you're going to take the base of your Skunk 2 shifter, and you want this side facing the back, and you're just going to put it in through the bottom. And on a B series, this plate replaces the factory plate. As you see, there's an extra hole here, so you actually have to drill through your linkage and add a hole, and it helps keep the shifter more stable. But it'll slide in through the bottom like this. You're just going to press it in, and then they supply you with some hardware for it. So I'm going to put 2 of the bolts in and then mark the 3rd hole to be drilled. Alright, I got the base of the K-Tune shifter installed, and then now that that's installed, I'm going to go ahead and put in these new bushings, and then we're going to go back over to the car and fit it back up to the car, and then we'll install the rest of the shifter. Alright, so the rear bushing's on, and the front bushing, it's actually pretty cool that K-Tune made these in a 2-piece design, because the 1-piece is really hard to get through here. But I'm pretty sure that these bushings were upgraded before, because these are 2-piece and they look just like the ones that I just got. But So this one is the flat one that goes to the inside, which goes against your transmission. And this one, the concave one, goes to the outside, and the bolt and the washer goes through it. Another thing to remember is that this bracket that is on your factory bushings needs to go back on. So don't forget to put that back on. Alright, so once you reinstall it underneath the car, you just do it in reverse order of how you took it off. Then you come to the inside of the car and start putting it together. Alright, I've already reinstalled everything and got it set up the way that I like it. I need another shift knob because this one, the thread pitch is right, but it will not line up where my gear pattern's actually facing the right way. Even with the nut, there's not enough thread to actually get it tight and make it sit where I want it to. But so we'll just be keeping this one for now. But anyway, underneath my shift boot, you turn the top part to adjust your throw, and then there's 2 set screws that you tighten down to hold it in. And then when you put this piece on, you line it up here. There's a washer inside of here that lines up with this part under here, and then you tighten it down, and then you adjust to the height that you want and tighten these 2 and the 2 on the back, so that keeps it where you want it. I like it in the center, but you can adjust it to this arm to the side. But anyway, this is on the second lowest shift throw. It's pretty short. It feels very, very good, very notchy, and it's extremely responsive. Way more responsive than the old one was. I mean, the old one wouldn't even return to center like that. But look, this is literally all I have to do to go from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. You know, like, super short. I'm literally just moving my fingers. Third, you know, a move, you have to, it's a little bit more difficult. I'm literally just moving my wrist. I'm not even moving my whole hand anymore. And that feels very good. It's definitely an upgrade. I like it. But anyway, we still got to change the detent springs and put the exhaust back on before we finished up. Then we can take it for a drive and see how it feels on the road. You working on it? He's working on his Honda, and we got to finish up ours. So all we got to do is go back up under there and bolt the exhaust back together and change the detent springs, which is just 2 bolts. And it takes like 5 minutes. But I'm gonna put the camera down so I can watch him and finish this up, and then we'll pick it back up when we go for a test drive in a minute. All right, I got my co-pilots in here. Hello. Hello. And we're gonna go for a quick little drive just to feel what the shifter feels like. Yeah. So that was first to second, and it feels really good. Second to third. enough room to actually hit fifth. Alright, the downshift felt good. 3 to 2. Alright, so all in all, this K-tune shifter. Hello. Hello. This K-tune shifter really feels amazing. It's way better than what we had in here before. It's way better. It's definitely worth the money. So if you're interested in a shifter that feels great, go for the K-tune BD series version 3 and the Speed Factory upgraded detent springs. They're amazing. It feels completely different. Also, we're going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe. Can you say that? Huh? You say subscribe? He said it. Hello. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Anyway, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.